How do you feel about me with my female friends?
What are some times where you wouldn't pursue a friendship?
I had a previous relationship where I wasn't allowed to be friends with females.
I'm sorry, but the other women are not the issue.
Why do you need those relationships? Why are you going to these other women for friendship?
Hello, evolving lovers. Today we thought that we would talk a little bit about friendships and whether or not it's appropriate or important to have same-sex friends in relationships in general, whether you're in a relationship, whether it be a monogamous relationship or a non-monogamous relationship. And this has been triggered by something that you recently watched or listened to. Was it a podcast?
So I saw it on Instagram.
Okay.
And this is Carl Lentz and his wife. What's his wife's name? Laura Lentz. Is that right? Yes. And they posted from their podcast a little snippet.
These two
are just, and we've talked about them before on the podcast.
Yeah.
We do have I have a particular fascination with Carl Lentz.
I think you and I got into a little bit of a debate about Carl Lentz.
I think we did. And I've been following him for forever. But basically, he was like a big Hillsong pastor. He was a naughty boy. He did a little bit of cheating / a lot of cheating, and then came out about it. And then there was this big kind of, I guess, come to Jesus moment, he would say. But he decided that, you know, he's gonna turn the ship around. Yeah. And now he's no longer a naughty boy.
Well, he says.
Yeah, so he says.
I feel like perhaps you should share a little bit about why you've been following him or Hillsong. It sounds, maybe our newer listeners might think, are you like a Christian? Like, what's going on?
I am deep in Hillsong. That is, I'm actually undercover Hillsong. I am infiltrating.
Oh my gosh, you'd be great. You could be a spy. You'd be what is it? A honeypot.
A honeypot. A Hillsong honeypot.
Yeah, a Hillsong honeypot. Surely there are some like high profile people in there.
I know some
get
Hillsongers.
Amongst.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but like high profile. Like are they
Justin Bieber's in Hillsong.
Oh, of course.
Although I don't know how closely he is aligned to Hillsong these days.
Yeah.
But he was like the big, when we were in New York, he was like the big marquee name.
Yeah.
Like he was getting baptized at, and then doing gigs at the Barclays Center with Hillsong and
oh my gosh,
doing Sunday Mass, like all these crazy things.
Look, I know that we've already spoken about it before on a podcast, but I mean, I remember in New York, the Hillsong thing was a whole thing. And I have said it before, but some colleagues of mine at my work were really into Hillsong and they wanted us to go and they had the big conference at Madison Square Gardens.
They did.
I almost wish that we went.
Yeah, and I'm a musician, so I was getting kind of basically groomed to try and join the music kind of portion of Hillsong.
I feel like you're very on brand, in your aesthetic.
I love the music, so that was the confusing thing.
Do they all have like long hair and stuff, or not really?
Yeah.
It's like that hipster.
It's a uniform, yeah.
It's basically husband hunting, right? These big conferences. Husband and wife hunting?
I think it's just an excuse to party.
Is it people of all ages or is it like younger people?
Hotties. It's Christian hotties.
It's Christian
Mostly. And so Carl Lentz was this famous pastor.
Okay.
For those who don't know, he was this famous pastor who was, one of Hillsong's
He's
marquee
at the
pastors.
Top of the pyramid.
He was a top dog. And now he is no longer affiliated with Hillsong.
Really?
No, he's no longer. Yeah.
Oh.
He's kind of branched off.
Like they've had to let him go or he let them go or it was like a mutual divorce.
There's a lot of things going on with Hillsong.
Okay.
So
of course.
So there was a lot of controversy.
Oh, of course. Oh my
gosh. We're not going to jump into that. That's a whole nother thing.
Still haven't watched that documentary.
It's very good.
Oh.
Yeah. It is very good.
Yep.
My attention was drawn to this particular Instagram. And the title on the Instagram thumbnail is, "Why do you need a female friend?"
That is brilliant.
And I thought, great clickbait, Carl.
So good.
I'm coming. So
you went to the episode?
No, I just went straight to the video.
Okay.
So I'm going to play the video for everyone right now.
And this is the two of them. He's had
got
the
a podcast
affairs
together.
He's had the affairs. It's come out, but now they're back. So they're monogamy. The affairs are in the past and they're way back on track.
Yeah.
They're not like he had the affairs and now they're like adjusting the situation.
No, they're not. No, it's not an open relationship suddenly.
No.
Although they have spoken about non-monogamy on their podcast and saying that it is better to be ethically non-monogamous than Oh, I don't want to misquote them. That's a dangerous place to be.
If this is true, I appreciate that from them.
No, there's
it's always the hypocrisy.
They do have some nuance, but
it's the hypocrisy that kills
clip,
me.
I don't want to lead the witnesses who are listening or watching this on YouTube, because we're on YouTube now. But this particular clip, I'm going to play it right now. So the title is, "Why Do You Need a Female Friend?"
Mm-hmm.
I have a cool friend. She's a woman. Yeah, she's beautiful, but I would never do anything. Like she said, we're totally cool. And there's a subconscious thread that enjoys the risk of this. Like this is close. This is close to trouble.
Why do you need those relationships? Why are you going to these other women for friendship? It's like you have that in your spouse. And that's one of the beautiful things about marriage is that you have that. And if you really dig deep into that relationship, it's better than any other relationship you would ever have.
There are a lot of things in that.
There's a lot of juice. So that's what we're going to spend some time unpacking today.
Okay.
We're going to spend some time unpacking.
Sentence by sentence, word by word? I feel like there's so much.
I mean, do we actually, are female friendships a threat to a marriage?
Can we just unpack that first?
Okay.
I feel like we need to unpack that before but we'll go on our tangents, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What about where he's saying the risk? It's like there's the risk there. It's like this underlying thing. I feel like he loves a risk.
Well, that's what he's saying.
He's a
saying
risk taker.
The risk is intoxicating. So he just can't, like he couldn't possibly be friends with a woman without succumbing to the risk of the female friendship.
Is he just admitting to being non-monogamous, I feel? Because that's
a hot take.
Yeah, because it seems like it's something that's beyond him in the way that it's like, I cannot control it. Like this is in my body, it's in my biology, it's in my history, it's in my ancestry, it's in my DNA. Because he can't control himself.
Yeah,
or perhaps
inherently he's just such a naughty boy that he just can't.
Well, we know he's
resist.
Looking around. Yeah.
I mean, those Hillsong conferences, there's a lot of hotties.
Also, there's going to be a risk anywhere.
Yes.
With anyone.
Yeah.
Really.
That's a tricky thing.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes down to trust, I think, for me. Like this whole situation. And there's two elements. So his wife is basically saying, and she's been cheated on. Okay. So she has slightly degraded sense of trust in him.
Right.
That she's trying to build back up. But the thing that jumps out to me, just as a man listening to that, is that he's saying, as a man, I don't trust myself to like resist those urges.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as someone who is non-monogamous, that's a fascinating concept because I know that I have the ability to potentially pursue a partner if like maybe I do have a friendship with someone, like, and then there is a possibility, because I'm non-monogamous, that by communicating with you, I could actually maybe pursue something more that beyond a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have the trust in myself not to do that before we've spoken about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. There's something almost sort of desperate about needing to pursue your friends for this sort of connection. And that's the thing, exactly what you just said. If you're interested in connecting with somebody, you're not going to start being tempted by our friends who are, you know, where it would not be an appropriate, you know, situation for you to connect with them for a number of reasons. And those reasons could be just say like my long-term childhood friend, your long-term childhood friends, where it's like they're essentially like cousins.
Yes.
Like it's we just wouldn't go there. You know,
these are female friends of mine.
Yeah. Or like, you know, friends that are also work colleagues. Like it just might make that, like it's just, you just wouldn't do that because you can find other connections like elsewhere. So you could still have a friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
what is he advocating for? He's basically saying, I can't really be around women.
Well, he's sexualizing women. He can't.
Yeah.
Really, this just says everything about him. He can't be friends with a woman who he deems to be attractive because he cannot resist sexualizing her. This is almost, it's like the reverse pretty privilege stuff because, you know, these women couldn't be his friend. I'm sure, you know, these hypothetical women.
Yeah.
But in the same way that like there will be bosses who won't employ, you know, certain women who they find attractive because they don't want to upset their wives or like their secretary or whatever. Yeah. It's just easier to go with somebody who you know that you're not going to have that sort of connection with or something. But it's just, it just sexualizes everybody and everything, really. It's like reverse sexualizing the person who you would spend time with.
Well, I wonder whether she would feel comfortable with him having a friend who isn't conventionally attractive, like a female friend. Like, is she basically saying there has to be no female friendships because I can't deal with the few hot people that I think might have a chance or that my husband might be into? Because surely she doesn't mean every female friend. She just means the hot ones.
She just means people who she would deem a threat.
Yeah.
Anyone,
totally.
anyone who's going to make him want to like take the risk or whatever.
Right. And then he's saying, I am so tempted that I have to kind of like, you know, put the barricades up.
Isn't that then an awkward conversation? Like if they're at some picnic and then he's chatting with someone and then he has to be like, oh, Laura, like, I'm sorry, I'm actually getting tempted by this woman. And then she feels threatened and like it's just this awkward and these poor persons there just being like, bro, chill out. I just want to have a chat. Like why? It's like so presumptuous of him as well that this person would want to. It's like there's a real arrogance, I think, to this because it's like assuming that the other person, like of course they want him. But I guess coming from his background where it's like he was up on stage, he has his following, basically, you know, pretty close to being at the top of the cult.
Yeah.
Like he would have gotten a lot of attention. Like it probably just wouldn't maybe cross his mind that these women might not be interested in him. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
There's kind of a lot.
But also, how awkward would it be for a friend that they have deemed as a couple is like not a threat and is still around, like a female friend. And then she'd be going, does that mean I'm not attracted? Like, because your wife isn't like threatened by me, but you're not allowed to be friends with all the other supermodels in the Hillsong or the religious crew.
Yeah, that's so awful.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, thanks. Like, I guess you're allowed to be my friend. Like, I'm not vivacious enough or attractive enough, you know, in your eyes. Like, and that's what I mean. It sexualizes everyone because the whole thing is about whether he's attracted to them or not.
Yeah.
It's just weird, honestly. I think it's so weird.
I guess the question is like, how do you feel about me with my female friends? Because of course there's like a whole history of female friendships. And when I was looking through the comment section, which is amazing on this post, some people are like, well, what do I do if I have been friends with someone, you know, since college and, you know, I've been friends with someone for 20 years and then I get into a relationship with my wife. Does that mean you're saying that I have to immediately kind of eliminate all of those friends from my life? Like why it seems such a cruel thing to do. Yeah,
I mean, well, I just wouldn't do that.
Right.
I mean, when we first got together in 2012.
I wasn't allowed to have any female friends.
That's
like,
a joke.
Show me pictures of all of your female friends and I will tell you which ones you're allowed to be friends with.
Doing like the secret like Instagram stalk or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, not at all. I mean, you have really close family friends and friends who, you know, you've been friends with for years, beautiful women. I think even when you were organizing, like when you were proposing to me, like when you were planning that, you were overseas in America and you were staying at one point, you were visiting a really close childhood friend of yours who was living in DC. And I hadn't met her before because she had been living in DC.
And she's a hottie.
And she's an absolute babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's just gorgeous inside and out, vivacious. She looks like, I always thought she looks like, she kind of looks like that supermodel I don't know how to spell it, but
Candice
Swanepoel or whatever her name is. She looks like a mixture between her and like
African?
Amy McAdams or something.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
I'm sure she'd take that. Yeah.
Sort of, you know, she's just gorgeous. And she was actually helping you sort of, you know, like you were chatting with her about how you were going to propose and you were staying with her. And I just genuinely wasn't threatened by her. I was excited to meet her.
Right.
You
Not
know?
even a little bit threatened.
No, like, I mean, I clocked it.
You're like,
but I just
she's hot.
Yeah, but I just felt really secure with us.
Right.
And I just didn't think that you would do that. I just didn't think that you would hook up with her because
that would have been a bold move to hook up with her when we weren't non-monogamous right before I proposed to you.
Yeah, like we were monogamous, but it just wasn't the kind of, you know, relationship structure aside. It just wasn't who, like, you're just not a dishonest person. I just don't think that I just genuinely didn't think that you would do that. And she seemed really lovely to me. She like we'd become friends on Instagram and she was like liking my photos and you were like, you know, we've been chatting about you. Like it was a lovely inclusive thing. And then over the years you've become friends with plenty of women. And I actually think it's really lovely and important. I've had moments of feeling threatened, like when you were becoming friends with someone, you were going to become like tennis partners with her, but it was sort of like a date, but then was turning into a friendship. And I don't know, but I think that was more about the tennis.
It's always about something else. It's never real in non-monogamous circumstances with us and our relationship. It's usually to do with something completely opposed to like, or completely nothing to do with like sexuality or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's actually to do with like other little triggers.
Yeah, I was hoping to become your tennis partner. And, you know, if I start tennis now in 20 years, I might be good and I could maybe keep up with you. Yeah. Kind of.
Well, it also comes down, the tricky thing with this kind of Carl Lentz thing is that it's also completely impractical if you are in an industry that deals with like people all the time. You know what I mean? Like you're constantly, like he's obviously in a church environment. So he's, you know, doing sermons. He's constantly meeting, you know, people. He's constantly meeting women. He's always exposed to different people. But then like if he was an accountant and he had like 10 people who worked at his office and he goes in every day and he sees a secretary and that's the only woman he might see all day and then comes home to his wife, that is slightly more achievable. Like for us, it's like for the stuff that I do, I'm a creative. So I'm always I'm often dealing with like a lot of women, you know, in my work. So if there was like this whole kind of thing where I couldn't develop friendships with women and I couldn't become close, it would be impossible to actually do my job.
Well, I think we need to point out the differences between being friendly and also having a friendship and also being in a community with people.
Okay.
Which is kind of...
Those are important distinctions.
There are distinctions. There are differences between those. But...
So what are the differences?
Well, I mean, you know, it's like at work, they're like your colleagues. So you didn't really choose each other. It wasn't like you met them and were like, oh, let's form this bond or form this friendship and start hanging out. Yeah. You know, but you do become friends. Like I would say you've made genuine friends at your work, people who really care about you and you care about them and you hang out, like not that often, but like it wouldn't be weird if you did, like you'd see each other outside of work. So like there's that. But then also I feel like in the way that he's sharing about this, there's still so many gray areas for this to become in that weird sort of work wife, work husband domain, because I think in work relationships, there are actually genuine friendships that exist at work, but people wouldn't be so honest about it because you would become close sometimes depending on your work with your colleagues and form a genuine friendship. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's also different to then, you know, if you're the way that you described it made it sound like you're just meeting new people all of the time. You're a friendly person. You have to have a chat. Hello, how you going? And then you see each other around. To me, that's not a friendship. That's like a friendly professional acquaintance. And if you bumped into each other out, you would say hi.
Yes. Okay.
Because I think with friendship, isn't it like you have to spend a lot of hours, like 80 hours or something to have a genuine casual friend? Yeah. And then it's like 200 hours for a very close friendship.
I totally agree. I think what I was trying to allude to was that from her point of view, she is trying to limit any potential threats. So she's looking at the landscape and thinking, how can I make sure that my husband doesn't cheat again? Okay. So the only way to do that is to actually limit any potential possibilities for friendship so obviously you need to have acquaintances to then become friends. So, but she would presumably see the acquaintances being the stepping stone to the friendship that then becomes the threat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that with my job and what I do as a creative, it's like I am meeting people all the time. So there are potentials for friendships to then eventually happen. And the same thing with him because he's constantly conversing with all of his congregation.
Yeah, for sure.
So she would live, and he would feel, it seems, like he's so hypervigilant, especially now that he's the one who's done the naughty, is that he is now having to police himself, which is incredibly stressful.
It's like he's gone friendship sober now.
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah.
You can't even have just like a little bit. Like you can't. Like you can't just have one little coffee with a female colleague, or that might be a friend or something, because then, you know, he's going to fall off the wagon and end up, you know, I don't know, 10 affairs deep or something again. And
there's also a beauty that comes from being friends with females as men that I really love. You know, like I've got 2 sisters, so obviously I've grown up with that kind of input. But then there is a different way that female friendships kind of take, you know, kind of the characteristics of a female friendship.
For sure.
I feel like quite different to male friendships often. So it seems sad to suddenly cut off all possibilities.
Yeah.
For that.
For sure. And I guess an argument for that would be, well, it's not cutting off all female connections or relationships, because there'd still be, presumably they might have their mothers are still alive. I have no idea, but they might have family, sisters-in-law, you know, cousins, like other safe female, you know, connections and relationships. But it's just not that. It's just not a relationship that could turn into a sexual dynamic. But I totally agree with you. I think it closes off a lot of possibility, because in a genuine friendship, there's so much opportunity for sharing and building empathy. And, you know, he might have a female friend who's gone through a breakup and she's like, can we just have a catch up? I want to tell you. And then he can listen. I know that sounds like a slippery slope to them having an affair.
Wait, a female friend who's just had a breakup who wants to talk to him.
Well, for advice or something.
I mean, even I would be like, if my female friends, I would be like,
maybe
you want to
not
hang
that.
out with me and you've just broken up with your partner?
Well,
I mean, that makes sense. But it's like, that is like the cliche of all cliches.
Okay, that was I feel like I was going really strong there, and then I just hit a really,
that was fine.
really bad example. But, you know, you just hear about different people's stories in a way that you might not hear about a story if it's your sister. Like somebody, you know, having female friends, I might say, oh, I was dating this guy and he did this and that, and oh my gosh, and have you ever had this happen or something? But I mean, maybe they're different. Maybe they're not like that because they are, you know, I'm still in this Christian, you know, I don't know. I mean, we say he's like, we're talking about him as if he's still like leading the church and stuff. I don't know. He's
leading his own.
He might be part of like AA for people who cheat or something. Like addiction.
Oh yeah, he'd be doing. He loves Sex Anonymous.
Because his whole thing would be that this is an addiction, right? That's the go-to.
I don't know.
It's like not so conscious. Like it's like,
because
oh
it takes the emphasis away from his autonomy to make a decision.
Yeah, he didn't choose that. It's an addiction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he just couldn't help himself because of the powerful forces in his loins.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that she also talks about is this sense of like, I am everything.
I know.
I am everything that you need. Like, I am all the woman you could possibly need.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the track record is for those two with that one, but it's a lot. It's a lot of. Yeah, I mean, she must feel really, look, I mean, it's good to have great self-esteem. It's good to be like, I'm amazing and this and that. Yeah. But I mean, it's a lot to be, I'm the only woman you need. You don't even need other female friends. So it's like his main connection is his sexual, romantic connection with a woman, with a wife.
Yeah.
And then everything else is male influence.
Yeah. So you've got friendships that only come from men, and then you've got female friendship in singular that comes from her, and then on top of that, also the sexual connection.
Yeah.
Which over a long period of time, as Esther Perel would say, becomes increasingly difficult to maintain as like when you are the one person who is responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Like that's an incredible burden that she is willing to carry, which is impressive.
But she wants that because it's a safe option for him, because ultimately she doesn't trust him, and that's why you can't have female friends, because you should be able to be anywhere and make the decision to if he's choosing her and they're choosing a monogamous relationship, because that is what is needed for them to be together.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but the other women are not the issue.
Yeah. It also does, like, it makes me think about the role of like substances as well.
Yeah.
It's like if you're dating someone or you're with someone or your husband or partner, like, maybe they're going off and having work drinks all the time and, they've got their work wife, work husband, as soon as there's intoxication involved, it also complicates the ability to trust your partner with their female friends.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times have you heard, it's like the biggest trope ever. It's like, I was away for a weekend with a bunch of friends and my wife couldn't come, but, we just had a bunch of drinks around the fire and then suddenly I'm banging my wife's best friend. It's like that happens, Maybe that's hot to some if you're in a non-monogamous relationship, but it's like as a monogamous relationship, like it makes it harder to trust your spouse. So I think if there are those complications as well, then you have to put up the walls.
Another argument, and something that I do agree with, is and where everybody would be different with this, and it's like obviously we are different. Like I have male friends that are genuine platonic male friends.
Yes.
And you have these female friends. Not being in situations where you might put your relationship at risk or each other in a discomfort. And I think that this is where that is coming from as well, like obviously. But I mean, we would still have things like that, but it just might not necessarily be about being, in a situation where it would be about hooking up with other people.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And that would be, like you said, if it's like a situation where there's like heavy drinking or you're out somewhere or you're like, it would be weird. I think I would feel uncomfortable if you were like at it's just not like you like your sleep, but if you're at, it's like the end of the night and it's 5 a.m. and there are like people doing drugs and you don't do drugs or something. Like you just wouldn't do that.
When's the last time I was up at 5 a.m.?
But that's more about like I would just be worried about like your well-being and your headspace.
Yeah.
If you were sort of in that, or if you were like at the strip club at like 6 o'clock in the morning, like after all night, it's just like, no way. Yeah. Like you just
And I go to the strip club all the time. I do.
It's been a long time since we've been to a strip club.
We've got to do that. It's been, how many years has it been?
We last were in a strip. We went to a strip club in New York in 2017 and it was a crazy night.
That was a crazy night. I don't even think we can talk about that.
No, that was a crazy night.
We cannot talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
And we'll go with all our female friends and male friends and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fun platonic group activity.
It is actually
and just see how like platonic you can just keep the conversation super vanilla. Like that could be the theme of the night. Only talk about vanilla things.
Could that be the test?
While you're getting lap dances.
Oh my goodness. Imagine. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm down to give it a try.
Yeah.
It's just a doomed way to have a relationship. This like no female friends thing. I think it's just because eventually you become resentful. And then every time
you can tell he wants to break out. You can tell he's like the risk.
Yeah.
Like, the risk. It's like he's having flashbacks, like, the good old days.
Yeah,
like, oh my God, like what happened? Like, where are all of these friends, Oh,
totally. Yeah. Because then it becomes a situation where every time he meets a woman and has this, like as part of his job, he meets a woman, he's chatting with her, he might meet her in passing and then, he sees her again a few times and then immediately his wife, she clocks this new woman.
Yeah.
And she's like, is this becoming a little too friendly?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then it's everything just becomes policed. And then
he would become anxious. He'd be like, oh no, like I'm just being nice. But now because this other woman's good looking, my wife's watching. And that's the thing, the trust.
Right.
But I mean, they've been in therapy and, he's promised to never do it again. And he was.
All of the things.
All of the things. Yeah.
See, how many times, hypothetically, in our non-monogamous relationship, how many times would I have to catch up with a female friend for you to start to get, like, what would actually be something that would actually genuinely make you nervous? Would it be the amount of times I caught up with a female friend? What if I was like, I'm hanging out with, insert female friend here, and I'm hanging out with her twice this week.
Well, twice is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. It would always come back to like a justice I'd be like,
okay.
we haven't really been doing that, or like,
yeah.
I think I'd probably start to feel a bit like, but that would be if it was like, if it was a male friend or any friend, if it's like
Totally.
you wanted to only start going to gigs or some kind of show or something with someone else, and then I wasn't getting asked anymore, and everything was like, like I'm going to be out Thursday night, or can you, like, I'm actually going to be out for Saturday night, but that's just about, that's just to do with our life balance, if I felt like we weren't doing that, or, maybe if it was things like that, I don't know. I think I'd probably find it a bit weird if you were like, I want to go and have a weekend away with my friend who's like a female platonic friend, and we're going to
just me and her
do this. Yeah, like, because there's something sort of romantic about that. Like, I'd probably, like, because I'm being honest on the podcast. I'm not like, like, I'm just like, woo, whatever. Like, go and like do whatever. Like, I would definitely be like, okay, cool. So, like, I think I would clock that and maybe have to process that in a way that I probably wouldn't if you were like, me and the guys are going away.
Totally. So if I was like
you recently,
I'm going on a tennis overnighter to like play tennis at this cool place with a female friend.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's interesting because that's giving it a theme. There's like a reason. So if that was like we're going to watch the tennis, it would come down to circumstance. Okay. Like if you have a female friend and all of a sudden she's like, I have like tickets to the, we're going to this I was going to the Australian Open and I've got flights to Melbourne and it's already something or other, like, would you want to come with me?
Yes.
And it's like you were going to be texting about the match all night, because we've had situations like that where it's like, I'm just at home or I'm like watching the game. Yeah. It's like you're watching tennis and you're on your phone the whole time, like as well texting whoever it is who's also so into the tennis.
Mostly female friends,
Mostly your female friends. Yeah. So I'm like, that sort of makes sense to me. But if you were like, can I go away like to a vineyard and we're going to like go to just like have a nice vineyard, like weekend away or something.
It'd be a shame not to have sex then.
Well, that's the thing. I'd rather it just be like, it would be, I'd understand it more if it was a date. Yeah, like if it was with someone romantic, I'd be like, okay, like, because you're going on a romantic. But if it's like, okay, well, this is all very, but like I would go and do that with my female friends. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but like I would go and have a weekend away or, share a bed with a platonic friend. No, don't raise your eyebrows. Like I'm thinking like we're talking platonic. Okay, we're talking platonic here.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be weird. And if you went away with mates, that wouldn't be weird.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you feel the same? I feel like you would find it weird. Like you just wouldn't do that.
Well, yeah, I think it would, I'd be conscious of the optics to you. So I'd never suggest anything that you would find weird.
Are we the same as Carl and Laura? Is that what we've gotten? We're just like a weird.
Are we the inverse of Carl and Laura?
I think there's, because the way that they explain it was like you can't even have a coffee.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like.
Because what can that person give you that I can't?
Yeah, like that is, I don't like that.
Yeah. Well,
but
one thing with non-monogamous relationships, like our relationship, is that when you do have a female friendship, there is a potential, even if both people don't act on it, that it could become something physical.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have to, if anything, it comes down to like really good communication about the intention of whatever situation it is. So say a female friend invited me to the tennis and I was like, I'd probably clarify with the female friend before going, just so you know, this isn't a date. We're just going as mates. As weird as that would make it, I think that would actually be better. I think. Because then it would, then at least you have that subtext of like, we're just going as friends. But otherwise, if you leave it open, then the potential for something to happen, and maybe that is a hot potential. And I'm not saying I'd be like not open to that, but I would communicate that with you and also with the friend.
Yeah, for sure. You know? I think so, because there could be the assumption that because you're non-monogamous that like you're then open, like of course you'd want them. And if you already really like them and, they're, whatever, that it could be a possibility. I think it would be good to clarify that, because I guess the weird thing with friends, especially if it was a long-term friend, like that scenario, the long-term female friend has asked you to go away, the ticket, blah, blah, blah. I think it's good to really think about that because it's not like dating somebody where you're then sort of like pre-established, like you can be like, okay, this is sort of like my capacity and like this is, Abbey and like you guys, have a connection. Like you don't sort of carve that way. It's like the lines could already be blurred, especially if you've already been emotional support. Like you wouldn't go, I don't know how you would go to like a friends with benefits thing. It's emotionally loaded. It's also kind of taboo because you'd know each other. So that is sort of hot. So that's sort of hot. But then
a friends with benefits thing would be fun though.
Yeah, but you're still friends. It's never really, because it's like, where's the line? Like you could become, I feel like it would immediately become quite polyamorous in the way that it would present because you've got that friendship. Can you then still, go for a hike on a whim or grab a coffee anytime or do all of those things before that you could do when you were just platonic friends?
That's a good
Or
question.
is it this weird sort of like, oh my gosh, we've like known each other since year one, like, or whatever. We're like, now we're sleeping together. Like now this person would have like known you for longer than I have. It's like I'm the newbie.
Ooh. Are you Laura now?
I like to look at all of the possibilities.
No, yeah. That is a good.
I still want you to have female friends.
Yeah.
But like anything, nothing's a total,
but I just can't be non-monogamous.
free-for-all.
But just being non-monogamous with a female friend that I've been friends with for a long time would feel threatening.
It's not that you can't. It's that there is the potential
and it would
for
be
it
weird.
to perhaps get weird.
Yeah.
Maybe to turn
like
a long-term platonic friendship into a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
Like be friends.
Yeah.
Date someone new.
Is there a type of friend that would immediately become like a threat in the way that Laura speaks about it in that clip? Like, go back to Old Faithful, Emily Ratajkowski. We just developed this really nice friendship.
Okay.
Like
for anyone listening, Liam has an intense parasocial relationship with Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah, but she loves going to art galleries. Fancy that. I love going to art galleries. And she wants to go, she's out in Australia. She just wants to go check out a regional art gallery. Do I want to come along? Just as
Do you
mates?
want to drive her there?
I'm happy to meet if that's more convenient
You
for
could
her.
pick her up from the airport.
I could.
You could arrange her accommodation. You could stay the night
But
so
only
that
book
her
one
driver.
bedroom.
Yeah, it's good. It's economical.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to waste money. She's only. It's not like she's a gazillionaire. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like with that? Like surely there's got to be
That's not a friendship. It's never a friendship with Emily Ratajkowski.
Okay.
It's never a friendship. The
what about
risk, as
Emily
Laura would
Blunt?
say. But it's like I'm not.
Who else?
I'm not looking for like. Why would you?
Right.
We don't have to pretend that you're going to become platonic friends. With Emily Ratajkowski, and she's going to be like, "This is Liam and I, my friend. We're going to hang out." It's like that's not a thing.
It could
If
be.
in a parallel universe,
Okay.
everything everywhere all at once styles.
Yes.
Emily Ratajkowski, like you would want to date her. It would be weirder for me if you were like, let's just try and be friends. I'd be like, who are you kidding? Stop lying to me. I know you wouldn't want to sleep with her.
Yeah, that's true. See, and that's the funny thing. It's like in the inverse to this, you want me to be so honest that I would actually say, you'd prefer for me to say about a female friend of mine, I find them hot, than for me to lie and say, I don't find them hot. Like we're just really good friends.
Oh,
That would actually probably infuriate you more.
I know.
And there's been times I think where you haven't believed me that I haven't found someone hot. And then in my mind, I'm just like, oh, no. Because I know the annoyance for you is just like, just tell me you find them hot.
Yeah, I'm like, just admit it. I know you think they're hot. They're like objectively a very attractive person.
But I might just not find them hot. And that's happened before.
Why? Like what? You didn't like their style or something?
I don't know.
Their personality?
Maybe I just didn't find them hot. And then you were like, no, I know you find them hot. And I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I were to lie and not like that would be for a female friendship, that would be the infuriating part. And that's the trust thing that these guys have kind of lost the focus on. It's like, because there's just weird trust things going in all directions.
Yeah, or maybe this is them really zoning in on the focus because they need to, because the trust, they don't have
trust.
Well,
they're rebuilding it.
They're rebuilding it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's just like, I don't want the risk. Like a recovering, he's like an alcoholic who's, when it's early days, is like, I'm just not going to go out to bars.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yes.
Valid.
So do you think there's ever a place for this type of kind of hyper protectiveness around friendships?
Well,
like with an infidelity.
Whether or not I'm like, whether there is a place, it's like, well, of course there will always be a place for this because people are going to put in their boundaries around their relationship and what they deem acceptable and unacceptable.
Yeah.
Have you ever found that there are times when, like, what are some times where you wouldn't pursue a friendship with someone?
That's a great question.
Like a one-on-one friendship.
I think if I felt that there was, no, I think I would pursue a friendship, even if, because when you immediately meet someone, and I think this is what Carl Lentz is maybe getting at. It's like as soon as you meet someone, you can feel whether there's a sexual attraction, like instantly. And I think you'd be lying if you said that that wasn't the case. So it's like even just a 5-second encounter, you know whether there's like a reciprocated vibe, right? So I would just be hyper aware of that and then just immediately relay that to you. And I always do this. It's like if I meet someone like, someone in passing or like a female, I will tell you if, just because I don't want to almost have that guilty thought in my mind, because I don't want you to not know that I think they're hot. So I'm just going to tell Abby immediately, I met a hottie today. And then that feels like it unburdens me from any stress that I would feel around you being like, that person, I met that person that you met the other day and she's really hot. And you didn't even say how hot she was. Like, was there a vibe? So I don't actually think I would ever stop potentially having a friendship with someone if I felt that kind of intense like chemistry. But I would definitely relay that to you and then just be aware of it.
So it's just about, okay. So it's just about you and them and then how I would feel. That's sort of the main influences.
Yeah, and if they have a partner as well, like, and also if they're monogamous, like, are they in a monogamous relationship? And then we have this crazy vibe.
Yeah.
And then her frame of kind of understanding about relationship dynamics might be very different to mine.
Yeah.
So if I'm meeting a monogamous woman and she's like, oh, let's go hang out for like, grab a drink as friends, that's probably a little bit different to if I'm meeting a non-monogamous woman with chemistry and she's like, let's go catch up and hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have to be aware of where people are coming from.
Yeah. I feel like there are definitely just unspoken social etiquettes that I definitely am aware of. And like if we have a couple, if we're friends with a couple, like I would catch up with her, but I wouldn't really catch up with him. But we have a nice, like we'd go on platonic double dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in actual non-monogamous situations, actually.
Yeah.
Where we've been intimate, just say with a couple, or there's been some kind of connection or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I just probably wouldn't go out for like lunch or dinner with him because it's not the dynamic that our group has, even if there previously have been sexual situations. It's just not the dynamic to have a one-on-one. It's like just keep it in the group chat.
Keep it in the group chat.
Or keep it well,
I think that's what,
like her and I, and then like you and him would have a friendship. Her and I, this is very gendered, but like her and I would have a connection, like a friendship. You and him would have a connection. The four of us have dinner. I mean, friendships.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't start DMing him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And more so with monogamous friends. I feel like I'm hyper aware around monogamous people.
Well, that goes back to what I'm saying. It's like if it's a monogamous connection and people don't understand the whole non-monogamy thing, then that is like, okay, we need to really make people aware.
Yeah.
But I think Carl, like they could argue, it's like we have heaps of, couple friends like that we've known for ages and we all hang out together. And so she might say, hey, Carl still gets to hang out with women.
Yeah.
Like we're just all there.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Like
why does it need to be one-on-one?
We're just all at the dinner table. Why does he possibly need to catch up for a coffee?
Yeah. Totally.
And that's an interesting, like that would be.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
I feel like that could be a good rebuttal.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the devil's advocate from the last episode. I know.
Just thinking, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to debate it.
I'm thinking
exactly.
the kind of converse.
I think because it can, the way that they frame it, it can make it sound like he's not around other women at all. And that might not be the case.
He's around them at work.
Because that's just a snippet from a conversation that could be a much broader conversation.
Yeah.
And so I understand that because, we've had things where we've said things and people have been like, how can you say that or something? It's like, no.
Yeah.
That's not it. It's just in this particular way.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe they do have some great arguments for it.
Yeah.
And
at the end of the day, people can just be comfortable with what they're comfortable with based on the circumstances that they're in.
Yeah. And we're not necessarily saying that their take is bonkers,
No.
although I'm not into it. I'm very, very much in disagreement in terms of for our relationship. I just think that would be an insane thing to kind of put over the top of our relationship.
Yeah.
But for them, it probably creates less conflict in their relationship because he goes, in the same way that I tell you as soon as I have a vibe with someone and it makes me feel better, he just goes, I feel better because I just know that my wife is never going to be in the back of her mind thinking, you're kind of becoming friends with that pickleball player,
Pickleball.
I reckon he plays pickleball. He strikes me as a pickleballer.
How would you know that? Are you like on his Instagram watching his stories?
No, I do follow him on Instagram closely.
What's that all about?
I just think he's fascinating.
Why do you even say closely? Like such a psycho right now. You're like smiling. You're like closely.
I just think he's one of the most interesting just people, just as a character study.
Yeah.
Like there's
and
lots
you don't mean interesting as in like you approve of everything.
No, of course not.
Just like
he's just a fascinating, there's people I follow online who I completely agree with 0% of what they say.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean? But they're just fascinating to follow because you're just like,
you don't want to miss it. You want to be like, what are they going to say next? What's the next unhinged thing that's going to come out?
And particularly because a lot of people, one has to remember the influence that these people have. Like he's got 500,000 people following his Instagram. Like when he says that, the trickle down effect is like a lot of wives are going back to their husbands and going, they said that you shouldn't have female friendships. And they're telling their husbands like, so you got to delete all of those female friends out of your phone. And because people naturally who are following these religious type leaders, they're looking for rules. Yeah. They're looking to be told what to do.
Totally.
So it's like a lot of people are just like, oh, well, he said that. That's easy. I don't have to think about it. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, it's a bit passive, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell my partner to do it.
This is what we do. This is what we don't do. Yeah. That's just the blanket.
And I've had previous relationships. I had a previous relationship where I wasn't allowed to be friends with females.
Yeah.
Because it was like there was so much surveillance. Even though and as I was saying, I have said, it's like I'm a musician, so I'm friends with heaps of females, and it's like I couldn't be friends with colleagues just in a pure like musical sense even without it just being an absolute shit show. And it's so.
And wouldn't it get so awkward? Like you're at work and then it's like you're just, you've done some sort of work thing and then they're like, oh, should we just like grab a quick coffee? He's needed a coffee. And then if it's like, oh, should we just have it here? And then it's like, you might get anxious. It's like, oh no, is this now like, are we now in the realm of friends? It's like, we're not in the office, but we're like having a coffee, but I didn't mean it to happen. And like, is this the, it's like how horrible for that person that you can't just have a conversation and be normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
So I don't know what the takeaways are for this conversation, but we're nearing the end. That is, the hour has gone
Is that an hour?
Yeah, we've been chit-chatting away.
I thought we were just getting stuck in.
I know. We're in the flow.
Yeah.
But I do want to say we are now on YouTube. So if you are listening to this in your ears, we do invite you to go check out.
We're in our very early YouTube days.
We're in our early YouTube days, and we're getting. I mean, before we started this, I was like, oh, we should just be far looser, because I think, I mean, I'll speak for myself, but as soon as there's cameras, it makes me slightly more aware.
Yeah, it does bring a different sort of dynamic.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, we're in this room now. I feel like I need to be more like professional or something. I have my like professional Abbey voice, and then I have my like relaxed when there's no video, and I like hoodies and comfy and
but I feel like today the relaxed.
I feel relaxed.
Yeah,
we're getting into our flow.
We're getting into the flow, and then and I think it's one of those things that you just have to do it a bunch.
Yeah,
it's like these big podcasters. They're like, some of them are thousands of episodes in, and they don't give a fuck.
No.
They're just like, I was watching a Matthew McConaughey interview.
Oh yeah.
Recently, and it was on. I've watched a few. He's been doing the rounds. So
he's got a very beautiful family.
Yes, he does. Yeah, but he did like Diary of a CEO. I watched that. It was really interesting, and then he also did Rogan. And at one point in the Rogan interview, Matthew McConaughey is so chill in the studio, and they're like so chill that he's not wearing any shoes and no socks, and he just puts his feet on top of the desk.
Wow.
On top of Rogan's desk, like his bare feet, just like right into the camera, and he's just like chilling, like lying back.
Do they say take your feet down or like?
Well, no, Rogan goes and Rogan's done like thousands of episodes now, and he goes to him, he goes, of all the episodes that I've ever done, literally no one has ever put their bare feet on my table.
What's that all about? Like, what's the underlying, I feel like this is a power play. It's like some male, it's like making Rogan submit to him or something. Like, what is that?
I mean, that's
because it's just so rude.
Look, you could either read it two ways. One, that it's a massive power play, or
he just doesn't give a shit.
Or that he just doesn't give a fuck, and he just wants to demonstrate that he just doesn't give a fuck.
It's so signaling.
Because you have to be fully aware.
Like he knew what he was doing, and he has no socks on.
No, just barefooting, just going.
I find that incredibly rude.
Well, Matthew McConaughey would probably wear shoes. We can ask him to wear shoes when he comes.
Is it rude, or is it just? I mean, people are just different.
I think it just doesn't give.
Depends
a fuck.
who it is.
Yeah,
it really depends who it is.
I think when you're at that level of superstardom, maybe the argument is that he can just do what he wants.
Yeah, maybe he feels like Rogan's on top of the world.
And he does have that.
So
that's part of his shtick, I think. He's like, I'm just, he just rolling.
Does whatever he wants.
But the point is with that is that obviously that's like a level of comfortability.
Yeah.
That, maybe I'll be putting my bare feet on you.
For podcasting?
For podcasting.
You've watched yourself.
No, I won't do that.
I'll put my feet on you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I've got like cute little.
Yeah, you got cute.
I've got little 6.5 feet.
Yeah. So any people, that's how we're going to get people to watch the YouTube video. If you're listening to this and you're into feet, you have now. Now started.
What if you do the episode and you're like giving me like foot massages?
You've now started a foot fan site.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Well, kind of, unless I cut that out.
If I do that,
I'm going to leave that in. 100%.
You're going to leave it in.
Yeah. But thank you for listening. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah, I think that's what the YouTubers say.
Yeah, cool.
And share this episode with your friends.
Yeah, share it.
Because we'd love that. And your friends might be interested. If you're friends with people at Hillsong, send it over. See what they think.
I want to know if there are any poly Hillsong people.
Oh, 100%.
There's got to be.
Yeah, if there's 100,000 Hillsongers, there's got to be a few of everything.
What, and they just don't know it yet?
No, they do know it. They're just like, this is a sick, these services are sick. The music is awesome.
Or they're doing it that monogamy, just one after the other, like a million monogamous relationships with the overlapping.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And also, Carl, if you're listening, I would love
to have them on the podcast. I hope I wasn't too hard on them.
No, I mean, we're a bit mean, but that's all right. I'd love to chat it through.
I think I was triggered talking about this. It took me back to that other episode that we did where like you were like, he has changed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about this.
No.
He knows exactly what to say.
I don't know if I said that he has changed, but I think I gave him a bit more credit for potential redemption than maybe you. I think you were like, no, he's a narcissist.
I was like, he's just being caught.
Yeah, he's just saying sorry because
because it's the hypocrisy.
Yeah, right.
When you're preaching one thing and making heaps of money from it and you're like on top of the world and then
suddenly
you get found out.
Yeah. But Carl, if you're listening, on that note.
Sorry about your female friendships.
Yeah.
It's the price, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you just got to.
Like you got your wife. She's got all you need.
All you need. Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.